Alright, good morning everybody. Back for another live stream. Let's just do a little fresh analysis here. Obviously we can see, some sort of movement here. On GJ, doesn't really look like there was any type of confirmations to enter. Maybe, when this, candle closed above, broken closed above, but wasn't really a good confirmation on 30 minutes, so probably not a good opportunity there. Then we have this little setup here, but it doesn't seem that it's going to continue. 15 minutes breaking the low. So let's just kind of break this down from higher time frames. So on the daily, we got bullish candle. Previous daily candle was mega bullish. We had a wick down and we've broken the top. We're kind of getting some, disruption in this zone here, which kind of makes sense, just with the past traffic zone. So let's go to mark that up, drop it down to 4 hour and see what we got here. So on 4 hour, we can see, okay, cool. That makes sense as a good resistance level there. And then let's see, okay, cool. We have a nice support level here. And let's go to 1 hour. Okay, cool. So 1 hour, we have that support level, and then we have this, resistance here. As you can see, based on this right here, this past rejection zone here. Cool. And let's go ahead and mark up this one too, because I think that one's also relevant. Yep. And that makes actual perfect sense as to why we're rejecting where we're rejecting. So cool. Now let's drop it down to 30-minute time frame, see what we have here. And yeah, just like I said, makes perfect sense why we are rejecting from this area, just based on past traffic, past disruption in this area. All right. So we should be good there. And okay, cool. So support. Now it looks like we have some sort of resistance happening here. And we'll just kind of have to wait and see what price is going to do from here. Now, if we break and close below this zone, this is definitely a big enough range to catch sells, 100 pip range here. So let's just be patient here and see what happens, see where price goes to from here. But it does make perfect sense why we are rejecting at this point. And if you're just popping in, please do give a like to the stream. That would mean the world to me. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do subscribe, turn on the notifications so you know when we go live in the future, when I post videos in the future. And on top of that, if you have any charts or anything you would like me to review, go ahead and send a link. Keep in mind, you can't send the link here in the YouTube chat for some reason. I don't know why YouTube chat doesn't accept links or something. So what you need to do is you need to click on this camera. You need to go to copy chart image. And then when you go to send it, sorry, copy link to chart image. Then when you go to paste, you'll just want to send this piece right here. You just want to send that piece there. Now, let's see. So the only problem with the counter trend move here is that the 4 hour candle and daily candle are still mega bullish. So if we do look to take sells, oh wow, okay. Some mega volume coming in. Was not anticipating that. But yeah, so as I was saying, if we do look for an opportunity to take sells, then, we're going to want to be cautious about how this looks to play out. Just because, the trend is bullish right now. So this is definitely going to be a counter trend, position here if we look to execute. We'll probably want to keep in mind, this zone right here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up this zone right here, and that's going to be a potential target for the sells if we look to take sells. And for now, I don't really see any clear reasoning why we would want to look for buys. If we look for buys, it's going to have to be above the highs that were created here. It's only about 18, 19 pips to the top. So I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for us. So we might want to look for it up here. But we'll just have to wait and see. We got the next 3 hours blocked off, to trade. So no sense in trying to rush something. We do have news coming up. We do have news coming up at 8:30 a.m. CPI news. So we can expect, something to happen with that as well. Something to bring in some volume with that as well. And I'm actually going to pull up my trade journal here and just kind of see if I have any notes from previous CPI. I know I have a lot of notes from past news events, but I'm not sure if specifically CPI. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any notes. So that's unfortunate, but not any notes specifically for CPI, that is. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, the main strategy is, and we'll talk about it, like when it gets closer to that time. But the main strategy is, like for example, if this was the 8 a.m. candle and we're coming into CPI news at 8:30 a.m., we would essentially just place buy stops above the previous 30-minute candle and sell stops below the previous 30-minute candle, and whichever one triggers first, we just close the other and secure profits with whichever one is active. So that's kind of the idea there. But for now, we're just gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see what this 30-minute candle does, how it closes. We got 9 minutes left. If we look at 15-minute, it's kind of rejecting off of this little support zone right here. So just got to be mindful for that. If the 30-minute candle does close below, that we do have that zone there. But it does look, with the break of the high here on the 1 hour, we still have 8 minutes left on the 1 hour candle as well. It looks like it might be a weak bearish 1 hour candle. But if we can have a strong bearish 30-minute candle, that's going to lead to higher confirmations for sells. Rejection zone off the 4 hour. We have this wick here, clean candle over here. So, no real key area as to why this is rejecting here at 163.889 other than this little area right here. And if we look at the daily, we have this kind of little mashup right here, which makes perfect sense. So it makes a lot more sense as to why it's rejecting based on daily instead of 4 hour. But all right, let's see. Boom. Looks like some people here in the Slack channel, they're trying to catch some moves on, I'm thinking gold, or maybe they're talking about the 30-minute close on GJ. But yeah, let's do a little analysis here on gold as well. So gold, previous daily, you know, if we can tell a story based on a daily, you know, we have strong bearish candle, weak bearish candle, bullish candle. Notice how, you know, the previous high was respected, but it also respected, it respected the previous high, but it also respected the previous low. Now current bullish candle has created a bottom wick, and you know, once it breaks the high of the previous bullish candle, we can definitely anticipate, you know, price to come to 1683 and potentially even target this range over here as well. So let's go ahead and see what we see here on, god damn, if I can delete these things. See what we can see on the 4 hour here. So 4 hour looks a little choppy, to be honest. We have a, you know, clear support there, clear support here on 4 hour, and clear support there. And if we look at this on 1 hour, same type of area there, but we have this rejection happening at 1 hour on the 1 hour candles as well. So I would say similar type of thing here as GJ. You know, if 30-minute candle can close bearish, you know, you can look to take sells. The only problem is you know, it's only about 10 pips there. So, you know, sells below here are probably going to make more sense. You know, it's 45 pips or so going down. $24 pip range, but doesn't look like that's going to be respected there. It's only 7 pips, so yeah, I mean, for gold, you know, you're gonna want to look for buys above here, sells below here, and then we'll do target for sells there. And let's see if we can find anything else above 1667 that's gonna cause issues. We have this there. And we have this here. Oop, didn't mean to do that. All right, let's see. It's about 20 pips, not bad, not a bad range. Not the greatest. This is going to be a better range here, 35 pips up here. And it's past all the wicks there, so that might be better for buys. But I think it really just kind of depends on what happens above this zone. You know, if there's 20 pips or so to trade above this zone, then that would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen because it's only a 20 pip range. So if price is going to break and close above that range, you know, it's probably not going to leave 20 pips to trade. So we're going to want to look for buys above there, and then we'll look for this as a target for the buys. So I'm thinking this is something that you want to see here on gold. And as always, you know, that analysis are just based on current price action. You know, so we got to think about what's happening right now. Huh. I don't think we had all of this earlier. Now we got a bunch of bullshit on the charts. How the fuck did that happen? Yeah, that sucks. We're gonna have to redo this here. So it looks like my charts were like updated on each other. Alright, so if that kind of zone there, which would make sense to reject like we were talking about earlier. 4-hour resistance, 4-hour support. Okay, cool. So look at how this 30-minute is closing. So if the 30-minute breaks the high, we see a wick down and we break the high. I think that's going to be a good target, good opportunity for buys. I like to have my zones based on 30-minute. Yes, we got about 25 pips we can target. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be looking for right here. I'm going to be looking for a lower wick. And then a break of the high. Oh, what the fuck? Let's see what happened here on 15. I'm just going to place this here just to kind of show you what I'm looking to execute on here. You know, and the stop loss is going to be below, you know, the current candle. But if it just breaks the high here, I'm not sure if it's going to be the best to execute on. So we'll just have to kind of see what happens here. By the way, if you're here live, like I said, please give the stream a like. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. We'll try and get some magic happening here. Alright, so I just entered this, and we're gonna make sure I got everything good here first. Already about 4 or 5 pips in profit, so if it comes back down to my entry, I'm gonna close 90% of the trade just to mitigate risk. And I'm gonna trigger stops at break even at about 10 pips. And I'm going to be looking to secure partials at about 20 pips. So let's see. Price 163.853. That was the entry. TP 164.099. And stops 163.853. Oh, sorry. 686. So stops are about 16 pips or so. So another thing I'm going to do here is partial stop loss at about 8 pips, because that's going to be half of my drawdown. And so, you know, my plan is to obviously close 90% if it comes back down to my entry, but you know, my partial stop loss would essentially close 90% at minus 8 pips. That's half my drawdown because 16 pip stop loss here. So it's really not going to even matter, you know, because I'm already going to close 90% if it comes back to my entry. Which it kind of is. Getting close is about 3 pips, 2 pips, 3 pips away from my entry. And some would say, you know, like just let it run, you know, let it breathe a little bit, which I do agree with. But at the same time, I fucking hate being in drawdown, and I want to mitigate any type of losses possible. So that's going to be the plan. How often do you do the live tradings? So pretty much just Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, pretty much just Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. But we're about 6 pips in profit here. So not too bad here. Another thing that you'll want to see is the 15-minute to close above 163.842 or so, 100%. Highs have been broken. Yeah, so I really think this should continue bullish up to 164.111 or so. I'm going to target 164.099. Kind of rejecting a little bit though. Still about, oh, okay, just came back down to entries, so I did just close 90% just to be safe. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to lose anything at all. I hate drawdown. So at this point, if price comes back down and starts to flip bearish, it starts to break its own low, I'm just going to close the rest of the trade. But at this point, you know, we just have 10% of the original position running. So obviously, you know, the risk has been reduced huge. So price did go about, oh, and then the partial stop loss was just hit. But like I said earlier, you know, like I said earlier, the partial stop loss was at -8 pips. The goal there was to close 90% of the trade if we experienced not, you know, 50% drawdown there, which I had already closed 90% of the trade as price came back to entry. So, you know, that obviously didn't close anything because there was nothing there to really close. Which I'm surprised this is actually rejecting here. You know, maybe on the flip side we could have waited for a 30-minute close here. But when you see rejections like this, you know, big rejection, you know, that just screams buys, you know. So we just have to look for the confirmations to enter buys, and that's exactly what we did. Which I've seen this candle set up over and over and over again. The only thing I didn't like about this was there was no bottom wick. Well, there was, but it was just, you know, it was very small bottom wick. I'm not profitable yet. Want to go live when trading so I can see my mistakes in style. Any tips on making a live trading? No experience at all. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to stream to be a profitable trader. What you need to do is just pick one pair to trade. So I only trade GJ. It's the only thing I actively trade. Pick one session to trade. I only trade New York session. I only trade from 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and just focus on one trade per day. Now, this isn't something that I figured out. Like, you know, you can YouTube search Raja Banks. I've studied him for like the last three plus years or so. Studied tons of other people in the past. I lost a shit ton of money trading Forex, and once I found Raja, I became very profitable, and it's just from these simple concepts. You know, prior to Raja, I was trading 10 different currency pairs. You know, once I discovered Raja, I figured out, okay, cool, you know, less is more when it comes to trading. And so that's kind of the thing, you know, like when it comes to business, like we all kind of have like that hustler mindset of, you know, oh, the more we do, the more money we make. And it's the exact opposite in trading. You know, Raja did an interview not too long ago, and he talked about the reasoning behind 1 to 2 trades per day, and it really comes down to you can only make 1 to 2 emotional decisions per day. And so obviously taking a trade is a very emotional decision, you know. So with that said, you know, that's why you can only take 1 to 2 trades per day. So that's what I recommend. It's nothing about streaming, it's nothing about any of this. What it comes down to is, you know, keeping yourself very disciplined, keeping everything very simple, and just focusing on one currency pair, one thing that you're planning on trading. You know, showing up at the same time every single day, just to trade. and just taking one trade. It's those three things. If you can master those three things, you'll become profitable trading, no doubt. No doubt. Hi Christine, how's it going? Baruch, thanks man. Yes, exactly. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're about 6 pips in drawdown here. Closed 90% of the trade after price came up and rejected back to my entry. So, you know, risk has been reduced greatly. And if we end up, you know, hitting stop loss or end up closing full positions in a loss, I'll basically explain kind of what I mean by that. So we were risking 16 pips total for this trade. And, you know, we'll calculate how much the loss was or the win was, you know, after we fully close the trade. But let's do a little annotation here. So, you know, we have first price created a session high. Price tried to break support, but rejected super hard. Screaming buys. And entry was taken. Entry was taken as previous 30-minute close weak bearish and current 30-minute broke previous 30-minute high, and then closed 90% as price went plus 8 pips. And rejected to entry. So that's kind of what we are playing with now. So we see 15-minute close below this level. So I'm gonna think that it's gonna be a great idea to just kind of close the rest of this position here, because I don't feel comfortable with this continuing. And even if it does continue, which it looks like it's going to, even if it does continue, that's okay, because the biggest thing is you know, you got to put yourself into a position where you are comfortable with taking losses. You are comfortable with closing position. There used to be a time where I would just kind of like hold things and just be like, ah, fuck it. You know, if it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss. But that's like the worst thing. You know, if you can stop the bleeding, then stop the bleeding, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I don't know where price was. It was probably like right here or so. I'm just gonna say 5 closed. Close remainder position as previous 15-minute closed below current 15-minute resistance. Yeah, and as we can see, you know, this is pushing. You know, it looks like it's going to go straight to my target. So it is what it is. You know, these are all just kind of like things that you have to learn to execute on. But the biggest thing is like, you know, in the past I've put myself in situations to where I've been like, okay, cool, I would see this happening. I would see, you know, that the 15-minute failed to close above this resistance right here, and I'd be like, you know, well, it still hasn't broken the previous candle's low, so when it does, I will close. And that's like terrible, you know. It's like, when it does, I will close, you know. Like, if you're thinking that it's going to close, then just close it, you know. If you think it's going to break below, then just close it early. Why let it close early? You know, why let it break your stop loss? So these are all just kind of things that I'm like working on here as far as like stopping the bleeding. But nonetheless, this was a really good example of how to manage risk here. So, you know, as mentioned, the original risk was 16 pips. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh wow, this was pretty much a break-even trade. Yeah, I lost 2.3 pips. Yeah, so I think that was a very great example of how we can manage risk, how we can stop the bleeding here. That was amazing. That was amazing there. And even if it goes to target, I'm very happy with this right here. I'm very happy with risking 16.7 pips and only losing 2.3 pips. I'm very happy with that. Hey Christine, yeah, I just saw your DM. So what you need to do is go to the link in my description, MikePuglis.club. So here, I'll pull it up. MikePuglis.club. Go there, go to this website. And then right here, Forex Telegram chat. When you click on that, you're gonna do open Telegram or view in Telegram or whatever, and then just click join. That's how you can get in there. Baruch, this is the first target here, 164.111. 164.30-ish, 300-ish. Sure, it might be able to go up there, but first we have to look at this zone right here. You can't ignore that zone right there. As you can see, price came right here, 164.100. It tried to break above and it rejected. It did it right here and it rejected. You know, so you can't ignore that. Yeah, so in hindsight, I could have trusted candles here. I could have waited for basically told myself, okay, cool. I know this 15-minute candle did close below this resistance here, but with that being said, as long as it respects the previous 15 minutes low and it breaks the current 15, or it breaks the previous 15 minutes high, then it should continue just like it did. So I could have held it based on that, but once the thing that I'm trying to really like push here is, once you get uncomfortable with a situation, you need to take proper action. So I had already, price came up 8 pips plus in profit, price came back down and rejected. I closed 90% of the trade. That was the first time I got uncomfortable and I needed to take proper action. The second time was when I noticed that 15-minute wasn't breaking the current resistance. Yeah, no problem, Beirut. The best thing that you can do is mark up every zone, mark up every level, mark up every level that you see. See how I have support here, support resistance zone here, support resistance zone here, support resistance zone here, support resistance zone here, and then you just identify which ones are tradable ranges. So a good example of this is what I have here on gold. So I basically said, like, okay, cool, when I was creating this analysis, I said, okay, cool, if prices come up here, it's created a session high, it's forming a weak support, so if it breaks a low, it has a very good chance of continuing bearish. But this was why this candle was open and it was rejecting, so it didn't make sense to try and hop in a trade right at that time, because candle was already open, it already broken a low, essentially it had already made the move. And so I said, okay, cool, if candle closes below, it has a very good probability, a very high probability to continue down to this zone. But if we want to enter on that, it's going to be the break of the low here. So that's only a 9 pip range, so it's not a tradable range. And so that's why I have sells below here, because the next zone that we can take action on that has a tradable range is below this zone, targeting down here, which is a 44 pip range. So that's kind of why I just mark up any and every zone and just go from there and see which ones are tradable ranges, which ones are zones that we can execute on. Same thing for right here. I had 1676 marked up here. If we have a break and close above, it makes sense for buys, but the range is only 19 pips, so it's not the best tradable range to take action on, where this is 35 pips, so it gives us a little bit more space, a little bit more higher probability to be able to catch a profitable trade there. But yeah, so unfortunate that I wasn't able to catch this move completely, but not upset at all, because it did a great job managing risk here. Did a great job managing risk here. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna journal this as well. Yeah, that would have been nice. 24 pips. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. All good though, all good. And at this point too, I mean, you just have to accept that you've missed the move. If you have not taken an entry yet, don't take an entry. Don't take any dumbass entries. This is another thing I used to do a lot, is I would see price, moving, and I would think, oh crap, I gotta catch it while it's moving. Don't do that. There's gonna be more opportunities. There's gonna be more opportunities presented in the future. More opportunities presented in the future. This was a great trade idea, though. I've seen this happen so many times. Seen it happen so many times. Also keep in mind, we do have CPI today. CPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we're going to expect some movements there for CPI. It's probably going to influence gold a lot more than GJ. It'll definitely influence gold a lot more than GJ, but if anything, it's going to bring volume into the markets to continue to push GJ in whichever direction it's going. Okay, cool. So gonna journal this trade. Another thing you all should be doing 100% is journaling your trades. You know, journal your trades so that way you can review past trades. Journaling your past trades so you can review them is 100% key. Also, journaling missed trades. Journaling missed trades is very effective too. So setups that you see, things that you see that happen in the markets, but that you didn't execute on, you know, journal them so that way you can you know, review them in the future and see, okay, cool, so this happened in the past, this is where I could have executed, I missed this trade, but this is where I could have executed. So, you know, in the future, when I see this happening, I'll know this happening. That's, you know, often, that's honestly like why I journal all of the news events, so I can see, okay, cool, based on, you know, the past 10 news events that I've journaled, every time the 30-minute candle closes, you can set a buy stop above the 30-minute candle and a sell stop below the 30-minute candle. And whatever one gets triggered, just close the other and secure profits on the active one. And it plays out every single time. The only reason I know that is because I've journaled it. Watched it happen over and over and over. But yeah, if you did catch this trade right here, then congrats. Make sure you give a like on the stream. Make sure you tell your friends about the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notifications so you don't miss any future ones. Dang, I put SL at 164,200. Should have been a bit lower. 164 SL at 164,200. I don't get it. 164,200. Oh, maybe you're saying like after this candle closed and then it wicked down and it took you out. I mean, stopped in profits is never something to be mad about. Yeah, 100%, bear, 100%. Christine, yes, only during news events, really. Only during news events do you see these. Yeah, the buy stops and sell stops above and below the 30-minute candle, primarily during news events. Yes, news events. News events. Dang, this thing's really moving though, man. This would have been nice. I really wish I would have held that thing. But like I said, man, risking 16 pips and losing 2.3, you can never be mad about that. But that's an 80 pip move for my entry so far, man. Fuck. I would have closed out right here though. I would have closed everything right here. I'm strictly zone to zone trader. I like to stay very disciplined about that. Yeah, I went to a smaller time frame. Yeah, I mean that's definitely, I wouldn't, when it comes to GJ specifically, I wouldn't focus on anything lower than 15 minute. 5 minute gets super choppy. But yeah, I wouldn't, when it comes to GJ, I wouldn't focus on anything below 15-minute time frame. Now on gold, a lot of times you can look at 5 minute and you can say, okay, cool, if this happens, whatever the case might be. A lot of things you can get a lot of information from 15-minute, or 5-minute on gold. So we now see like this is now an updated support level for the 15 or for the 30-minute time frame here. Now there would have been no confirmation to catch these buys on gold in my opinion. No confirmation to catch these buys on gold. But man, lots of confirmations to catch these buys on GJ. This was an amazing call. Wish we would have held it. Small loss, 10 pips for me. No problem. Just, now that you took that loss, just think about how you could have lost less in the future. Think about how you could have had a better entry. Think about how you could have not entered at all. Think about how you could have held it. Those are the things, like there's nothing wrong with taking a loss. The biggest thing is just learning from that loss and seeing what you could do in the future. So just like I kind of explained here on the stream, how I could have lost less, or how I could have done better in the future would have been allowing this candle to form and see, okay, cool, if it breaks the previous low of the 15-minute candle here, then my trade is invalidated. But if it respects it and it breaks a high, then amazing, it's going to go to my target. So that's how I could have stayed in it ultimately. Now, as far as price going 8 pips in profit and then coming back to my entry and me closing 90%, that's just kind of like a golden rule of thumb that I always have, just to reduce risk. So I would have done that regardless. That's like part of my trading plan. But when it comes into how I could have, held this trade to my target with the 10% left that I had in the trade, that's how I could have done it. So, like I said, there's no problem with taking a loss. Obviously it sucks. Like, you definitely don't want to take losses, but at the same time, don't get emotional about it. Don't let it affect, like the next losses. There's a common, analogy where it's like, if you get a flat tire, are you the type of person that is like, fuck it, you pull out the knife, you pop the other 3 tires and you're just completely fucked? You have a car that has 4 flat tires? Or are you the person that says, okay, no problem, maybe I hit a nail or something, or whatever the case might be, and you pull out the damn spare tire, you change the flat, and you go on about your day? Trading's the same exact way. If you take a loss, are you going to overtrade? Are you going to revenge trade? Are you going to try and get that money back and compound losses and lose more, blow an account? That's the equivalent of popping the other 3 tires. But the other thing that you can do is you can learn from that loss. You can look at it, okay, cool, this is what happened. This is where I should have executed. This is what I should have done to reduce risk. This is what I should have done here, whatever the case might be. And this is what I can do in the future. So that's putting you into a position to where you're learning from the loss. But this is fucking crazy right here. I don't know where this volume is coming from. It's 130 plus pips, man. Holy. And so even with this, trade 1, risk 16.7 pips, lost 2.3 pips. Now this is something to think about too. Even though, I risk, 16.7 pips, I'm risking 1% per trade. you know, I lost way less than 1%. I mean, what's this? I'm going to see how much I lost. I'm going to see how much I lost here. 13% of the 1%. So just a tiny fraction of the 1% was lost. Yeah. But with that said, you know, even though I only lost 13% of the 1% that I was risking, probably not going to take another trade today. Don't want to compound the losses. Or don't want to put myself into a position to compound the losses. Oh, what the hell? Oh, nice. Tinder hot. Wow. Adult dating. Thank you so much. You're now going in timeout. Let's see. Hey Mike, if it's no trouble, how can I figure out lot size based on account? I had $5 left in my MT4 from months ago and used 0.01 on GJ and profited 240 or so. That's amazing. That's like 50% profit. But yeah, I mean, the easiest thing that I would say to do is Google pip calculator. Google pip calculator. I think this is the usual one that I use. And then you do account currency. And then we say, you know, say our stop loss is 20 pips. Oh, wait a second. Why is it doing this? Sorry, this isn't, oh, here we go. So as you can see, for a one lot, you know, each pip is $6.08. So if you're trading a 0.01, it's 6 cents per pip. So if you have a 20 pip stop loss, you're risking $1.3. $1.30. So that's what you got to think about. That's what you got to figure out is, okay, cool, if I'm risking 1%. So say now you have, you know, $7.40 in your account times 0.01. That's like 7 cents that you're going to want to risk. So I mean, you can't really even do that. So yeah, I mean, this is how I would figure it out if I was you. I mean, like what I do is I just use magic keys and I just do open calculator and, you know, I just risk 1% and it's all figured out there, you know, so it's not hard to figure out there. But that's what I would do is I would use something like this. I would pick a currency pair, your account currency, you know, trade size, and just, you know, figure out what makes sense as far as what your risk is. You know, so say for example, if you have a $100 account and you want to risk 1%, that's going to be $1 that you're risking. So you would want to take a 0.01 for every 20 pips. It's still a little bit over your risk, but it's, you know, kind of like the lowest that you can do. But if you have $1,000 account, you know, risking 1% is $10. You know, so to have a 20 pip stop loss on $1,000 account is going to be, I think, probably a 0.1. Yeah, so about $13. You know, it's a little bit larger. So let's see, 0.07. Yeah, so $9.54. So you want to use a 0.07 on $1,000 account. So that's kind of how you figure it out. I know that's probably not the best explanation, but that's the best I can do for you. I've learned to accept the risk before I take the trade. I'm disciplined with that, sticking from 1 to 3 trades a day. Managing risk has saved my account numerous times. Yes, 100%. 100%. You know, what it really comes down to, in my opinion, is just 1 trade per day. You know, when you're only taking 1 trade per day, you're only focused on taking the best possible trade that you can take. And, you know, if you're only taking 1 trade per day and you're only risking 1% per trade, then you know you're only going to maximum loss, you know, that 1%. So let's say, for example, you're trading a 5K account, you know, you're risking 1%, that's $50 that you're risking. You know, if you're only taking 1 trade per day, you know, the very worst thing that can happen today is I'm gonna lose $50. That's a very worst thing that could happen. And just like you said, if you accept that, then you're just going to be in a better position to be able to execute in the future, the next day, emotionally, because you're going to be like, okay, cool. You know, if I lose the $50, it is what it is. You know, I'm just going to learn from it, and I'm going to move on to the next day. I could have closed at break even, but hesitated because I felt it was going to go to the next zone. Then I panicked and closed. Story of my trading career. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I would say that's human. You know, first and foremost, you can't win everything, and you just got to figure out, you know, like when you can hold positions and when to close positions. And like I said, you know, earlier about myself, same type of thing. You know, I got uncomfortable with the trade first and foremost when price came in profits and came back to my entry. That was the first time I was uncomfortable, so I closed 90%. The second time I was uncomfortable was when the 15-minute closed below this resistance level here. I was like, okay, cool. And so basically what I'm saying is every time you get uncomfortable with your position, with your trade, then you need to address it. You need to do something about it. You don't just hope. Hope is not a trading strategy. You know, so you need to do something about it. Close 50%, close 10%, close 90%. Just remove some of the risk, so that way if it does go to your stop loss, you're losing less. Yeah, Baruch, I mean, you can really do any account size. And you can also risk whatever you want to risk. You know, it's just, I recommend, you know, not risking more than 1%. But fuck, man, you can risk whatever you want. You know, you can risk 50%. But this was a very good move. This was a very great move. I'm very happy that this played out. Even though I didn't catch it the way I wanted to, it's always great when your analysis plays out. Oh, okay, Raymond. Okay. CCL, AAL, NCLH short. Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, brother. Perfect sense, Raymond. Thank you. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Looks like some people... Oh, wow. Okay, some people caught some trades on gold. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't really see any confirmations for this. Some people were cowboys to catch this. I don't see any confirmations here. Because even if you're going to take a buy as it broke the high here, you got resistance here. I mean, it's past resistance too. Lots of rejections there. So, you know, it's a very cowboy move there to anticipate that to continue. Same, I mean, even more clear on 15 minute. I mean, you take it at the break of the high, you got resistance right here. So, yeah, no confirmations on that gold trade. Not a damn confirmation there. But it does look like there was a lot of cowboys here that took that. I'm very surprised. Very surprised. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Even some cowboys and sells. That's insane. That's insane. Wow, there is cowboys and sells taking this rejection. Wow. Yeah, so I'm not down for any moves like that. I like moves that I'm confident with. I can tell a story. So we can tell a story about what happened here. And I did. Price created a session high. Price tried to break support but rejected super hard, screaming buys. Boom, boom. Entry taken as previous 30-minute close weak bearish, and current 30-minute broke previous 30-minute high. Boom, boom. Closed 90% as price went 8 pips and rejected to entry. That was, you can see that a little bit more clear on 15-minute here. And then close remainder position as previous 15-minute close below current 15-minute resistance. And then obviously target smashed. If this was a roof in your house, you'd have a fucking hole in your roof right now with how hard price moved right there. Oh, man. But yeah, I can't believe these, I can't believe these cowboys and sells that on gold there. That is insane. That is insane. Wonder what they saw for that. Some sort of 5-minute setup guaranteed. Yeah, right here. Makes perfect sense. And rejecting a resistance zone. That's one thing I've noticed about gold is it moves very well zone to zone. Moves very well zone to zone. I myself am not a fan though. GJ does me right, and that's all I need. That is all I need is the trusty, rusty GJ. I'm not gonna lie, I love trading GJ. I love trading GJ. Christine, did you? Oh yeah, cool. You made it in the group. Yeah, man, that thing freaking shot. Holy. 180 pips, and I mean, think about it. You could have been in buys since this London move. The only problem with this is that like I said, starting up the stream here, there's really no confirmations of this entry here on this breakout. So I think we caught the best move there. Which that's always a great feeling as well. So, I mean, for now, we definitely just want to see some sort of resistance form, some sort of resistance, and then a support, and maybe go retest the highs. But like I said, I'm probably not going to execute on anything. Yeah. Maybe I'll trade the news. But at this current moment, I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for any cowboy entries or anything like that. Like these people trading gold. But okay, I'm gonna do a little break here. I'm gonna take 5 minutes or so. Hang with me. We're gonna be streaming through news. We're gonna look to trade news and see kind of how this 8 a.m. New York session open treats this. So I'm gonna take a little break here. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Bear with me. Okay. Oops, sorry, the music stopped. Best man, Akpot, always panicking for me. Why are you panicking, brother? Why are you panicking? To delete these dumbass messages here from Tinder Hot. Jesus. New York Open. Okay, so GJ closed with a strong rejection there. Gold, same thing, strong rejection. And, you know, since we got some new people here, if you're new to the stream, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on the post notifications for the channel, so that way you can be alerted if, you know, videos, live streams, things like that happen in the future. You don't want to miss these. You don't want to miss these potential moves that we are catching. So we're going to mark up these zones here, as these are the next zones that we're targeting. So maybe we can see some sort of, you know, resistance, you know, form here, and then, you know, a retest of the support created, something like that, you know, but it might be something good to play out here. But nonetheless, you know, we got news coming up in about 30 minutes here, 29 minutes here. We got CPI. They are forecasting 0.2%. The previous was 0.1%. And so let's look at what this means. Let's look at what that means. So change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So as we can see, the last one here, actual was greater than forecast, so that was good for the US dollar, which means that gold should have gone down because gold and US dollar correlate that way, you know. The past August was worse than forecast, so that means gold should have skyrocketed. Better than forecast, gold should have dropped. So we'll see what happens based on, you know, how they announce the numbers. But nonetheless, like I was saying, you know, we will just see how this 30-minute candle closes. We can anticipate buy stops above and sell stops below, and we'll just target whatever, you know, range is next here. But yeah, that's kind of what's going to be the game plan for GJ. Or I mean for news, and you can trade that on you know, gold or GJ. I'm gonna execute on GJ. Gold's probably gonna move a lot more than GJ will, but nonetheless it should bring some good volume for both pairs. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to readjust these zones. Actually, I'm going to leave those. Nope, just kidding. I'm going to delete that zone because price just moved super clean through there. And I'm going to get rid of this one too. So this is, you know, this one over here is the last area that price is kind of rejected. Other than this, you know, we've moved pretty strong through all of these past zones. Oh. Nothing else in this area. Yeah, so we have a lot of traffic here. And this is going all the way back to September 13th or so. Oh wow, that was probably news right here. Some sort of a news event. You always have to look left and see what price did most recently in these zones. Oh, didn't realize we were there. Cool, so 15-minute has created a minor resistance here. We'll see how price reacts to that. And we'll go from there. Best man Akpot. I should have left my trade running, but I have to close given the way market has been the last few days. Yeah, if you're talking about this GJ trade, I'm right there with you, brother. No problem. No problem. Just look at it, figure out how you could have, let it run. Figure out what you could have done to let it run. If you want, share your chart. Share your chart. I'll be happy to check it out and give my feedback on it too. But if you're referring to that GJ trade, I'm right there with you. Would have been some very nice profits. Oh. All right. Yeah, a lot of these guys caught these gold sells based on the 5-minute, man. It's Cowboys for that. Cowboys for that. You got to be a different animal for gold anyways, so I don't really like to trade it. All right, 20 minutes until the news. All right, Christine, we'll see you shortly. Get ready for that news. Get that coffee ready for the news. In the meantime, if anybody has any charts they want me to review or whatever the case might be, any questions, anything like that, happy to answer or review charts, whatever. Keep in mind, if you're going to send a chart, you need to come up to this camera here, click copy link to the chart image, and then when you go to send it, you can't send the full link. The full link won't come through. You have to just send this right here. Just send this and then I can view it. I don't know why, but YouTube blocks links, I think. Links in the chat. Oh, gold's correcting that little impulse move that it had there. So those people that took them cowboy sells are probably profiting pretty nice. Good for them. Love to see people win. That's all that matters. Well, we'll definitely like to see sells be favored here when the news comes in, because if sells are favored here, then we definitely have clean, you know, candles that we can fill down here. We can fill this move. We can correct this move that happened here. So that would be amazing. If that's not the case though, then no problem. That's okay. You know, we'll just look to secure buys if buys are what's triggered. But nonetheless, we just have to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. We got about 15 minutes left. And then that's when the fun starts. And based on 15-minute how it's moving, you know, we have a support forming here, resistance here, so kind of a range. And we'll just kind of have to see, but it's showing bullish favoritism, I think. Well, let's see what this GJ move, you know, 180 pips before it started rejecting. So that was really solid, you know, to catch that in a 1 hour candle. That was really nice. And if you didn't catch this, look back at how you could have. Think about how you could have entered here, where you would have secured based on, you know, what price looked like to the left here, you know, just as I was targeting, you know, these zones here. So think about how you could have caught it, or how you could still be in it if you did catch it and closed early. Oh wow, okay. Okay, so I'm actually gonna shut this down. So Raja just hopped on a stream. He just set up a stream for CPI news. So I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna hop on Raja's stream. If you guys hopped in here, please do me a favor, like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications to the channel so the next time I post a video, the next time I go live, you can hop in, you can catch it. So appreciate you all for showing up today. We'll be back at a later date and catch you later. One last question, Christine. Mike, do you ever add positions? No, I don't. Don't like to add positions. However, you know, could have added positions here as the 15-minute high was being broken right here by this candle as it was breaking here. Could have added positions there. Just because that would have confirmed, you know, the price to continue bullish. But no, I don't like to add positions simply for the fact that I don't like to put myself into a position to compound a loss or to risk more than anticipated. I'd already put myself into a position to lose less than I planned on losing, so I don't want to put that back into place. So hopefully that helps. And like I said, I'm gonna hop on Raj's stream for now. Don't forget to like the stream here. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I might be back for a part 2 later on if there's time, but likely not. So we'll catch you sometime later on. Everybody have a good day. Stay safe, stay strong. Adios.